Good morning. It's Vijay here. Today is a chilly Monday morning, and today is 6th of January 2025. Welcome to yet another episode of pre-market commentary. Now, whether the chilly morning will affect the bulls or bears, we'll have to see, because today is going to be a very exciting day with the Bank Nifty going to be under heavy pressure from the bears, and the bulls have to really dip, because the main stock in Bank Nifty, HDFC Bank, will have a fight between the bulls and bears, as I think. We talk of insider trading by SEBI, but if you observe here, on Friday, while the Nifty dropped only half, about 425 points approximately on Thursday, but it dropped only about 200 points. Whereas Bank Nifty, if you observe, has actually closed below the low of Thursday. Nifty did not close below the low. In fact, it closed only halfway, whereas Bank Nifty closed below the low of Thursday. So obviously, people were knowing that Bank Nifty will not do well on on Monday. They short sold or sold heavily HDFC Bank because they expected the status report from HDFC Bank not to be good. Now, how you look at the HDFC Bank status report, it dependent on whether you are long or whether you are short. Before I go into that HDFC Bank case and the other banks which reported on the weekend, let's look at what cues are there this morning. Nifty snapped, as I said, 2-session winning streak. HDFC Bank and Wipro led the losses. Nifty Energy went up. ONGC, Oil India, and even Reliance participated. PSU Bank advanced for the 4th session, primarily because PNB came out with a good status report. The status report is for the last quarter. I expected all PSU banks to do well this quarter. We hold 2 of them, PNB and Canara Bank. FMCG advanced for the 6th session. Dabur, Godrej Consumer went up. So did Hindustan Lever. I think Hindustan Lever is a dark horse. I'm just wondering whether I should punt into Hindustan Lever today, because I think it has been beaten down significantly, and also I think they are gearing up for some positive surprises as far as the results are concerned. But of course, the PE ratio is very high, so one has to be very careful. It could be a good trading stock, is what I suspect. Nifty IT, which was gaining for 2 days in a row, came down significantly, primarily probably because of the Nasdaq, which did not do well on Thursday. Now that Nasdaq has done extraordinarily well on Friday, we have to see whether IT index will reverse again today. So then we had Pharma. Pharma also was going up probably too fast in too short a time, and that was generally under pressure. Aurobindo Pharma is what we own, that we suffered losses on that on the MTM. Nifty Realty also same situation. Again, a very strong sector, but not a very big weight in the Nifty, but it also closed in the red. Used markets did very well on Friday. Dow Jones up 8.8%, Nasdaq was up 1.77%. Bitcoin was down on Friday, but it has now recovered. It is now trying to hit 1 lakh. So that 10-year treasury yield rose up 4.6%. The reason why 10-year treasury yield is going up, even though Fed is reducing rates, is first of all, Fed doesn't have any control on the long end of the curve, which is 10 and 30. They have let's say they can put more weight on the 2-year and 5-year. But why is 10-year gold going up? Because the bond vigilantes are thinking that inflation will come into play early this year as soon as Trump takes office, because of the tariffs which he's planning to announce. In my opinion, nothing like that will happen, or even if it happens, it will be very diluted. It's more of a threat. So I expect the 10-year yields and 30-year yields to start coming down maybe by the end of the month, and we will probably have a long decline, because it's highly overbought and highly anticipated on something which has got a 50-50% chance, whether he increases tariffs by 60%, or whether he increases a tariff by only 10%, or he does nothing as far as China is concerned. We have to wait and see. So that's where we are. What did the FIs and DIs do? FIs came in plenty and sold about 4,500 crores. DIs did not match them. Probably DIs would have thought that, the previous day, Thursday, FIs were actually net buyers, So they would have thought that they may buy, and then they might have gone slow on the accelerator pedal. Even after all this selling on Friday, we saw Nifty gaining 0.8% for the week, which many people might have missed because the mood is very, very bearish among analysts. I mentioned that yesterday in my yesterday's podcast. The only market which beat us, actually two markets beat us, FTSE at 0.9 and Kospi at 1.54. Kospi, I think, is rebounding because the government there has decided to support the market. Even Dow Jones came down 0.6, Nasdaq was down by 1.78, notwithstanding the rally on Friday. Then you have the commentators. Neeraj Bajpai of CNBC says the situation is adverse for Indian markets, very typical of any analyst or market commentator. And then they are looking at crude prices and dollar. Dollar has actually come down from 109 and 109.5 to around 108.7. So dollar also, in my opinion, is highly overbought. While I don't have any targets for dollar, I won't be surprised if it comes down to 104, 105 in the next 4 weeks. Then crude oil prices, probably it is due to expectation of Middle East tensions with Iran, which again I feel is overblown. I don't think Trump will do anything to harm Iran, and basically is looking for global peace. So I'm sure he will not do that. This commentator also passes judgment on HDFC Bank, IndusInd Bank. They feel that the business update is weak. In my opinion, HDFC Bank has performed as expected. If you had bothered to listen to the con call, HDFC Bank management clearly said this year they will underperform. Next year they will perform with the market, and the following year is when they will outperform the market. So their focus has been to reduce the loans, because the loan deposit ratio, LDR as what it's called, was up to about 111%, all because of the merger. So they brought it down to 100 last time. Now they brought it below 100. I think they are progressing. So they are not chasing loans, they are chasing deposits. So there will be some pressure, is what he had already said. So I think a smart investor or a smart speculator would have already discounted it. We have bought it at much lower levels. We continue to hold HDFC Bank, notwithstanding what may happen today and tomorrow for the short term. So what did the major brokerage houses talk on HDFC Bank? Just the headline numbers. They maintain overweight. Morgan Stanley is maintaining overweight. As I said, strong deposit growth sustained with improving LD ratio. That is what I think one should look for HDFC Bank, because that is what they committed. Then Nomura is maintaining neutral. See the contrast, that huge contrast among the FIIs, FII brokerages. So they are looking at neutral, and they're having a target of only about 30 rupees from Friday's price. Bernstein is looking at the positive part. They're expecting HDFC Bank to outperform with a target price of 2,300. So what about other banks? IndusInd Bank, Jefferies is looking for a target of 1,200, which is significantly higher. So the loan growth is moderate because IndusInd Bank has decided to clam up because they struggled in the second quarter. So CASA deposits are up 1% year on year. Retail deposits are good, but they don't want to give too much loans because they got caught in the MFI kind of loans, and that's where they want to reduce. In fact, they're selling off the loans. On Bank of Baroda, Morgan Stanley talks of equal weight because they're not really done that great, is what they feel. But I think 2.5% Q on Q on loan growth is good versus 6.7% quarter on quarter the last quarter. Reason being, again, the retail loans are being curtailed, which is what RBI wanted the banks to do. So I think they're still okay. None of them have reported negative growth. All of them have reported positive growth. On Kotak Bank, an interesting episode where the CEO and CTO has resigned, but that he claims is for personal purposes. He's not quitting immediately. He's going only after a month and a half, February 15th. But Nomura is positive on Kotak Bank. We are holding Kotak Bank. Same thing in Bandhan Bank. Jefferies is positive. Again, they're seeing the moderation. This is all expected. You see, when the second quarter results came, everybody piled on the negative side for all these banks, and the banks have done some firefighting and reduced their exposure. So you should expect lower. You should expect a moderation. I think the real growth, as I expect, will come from the third quarter onwards. That is the not sorry the fourth quarter onwards. But I think things will begin in the months of January itself, and you will see, in my opinion, you will see good numbers coming for Bandhan Bank after March. We hold Bandhan Bank. We don't really bother so much about what will happen in the next few days. Reliance Industries got up on Friday. It was the savior of the market. Market did not fall so much on the Nifty, whereas Bank Nifty, HDFC Bank was the main culprit. So you have CLSA, again an influential brokerage house, which is expecting, they expect higher numbers. Morgan Stanley's equity outlook for the current year is they expect India to be one of the best performing EMs. They are looking at strong earnings, macro stability, and domestic flows. They are underweight other sectors. They are overweight in financials, consumer discretionary, industrials, and technologies. They are looking at an 18% upside to basis Sensex. If you remember, last year, Sensex went up only about 9%. So it's a damn good kind of projection they've got. Nifty is showing as if it is higher. One never knows. By the time it opens, anything can happen. Today may also will be the day when ITC will be in the focus, because the demerger is starting today. So the demerger ratio is already known, but what will be the price of ITC hotels, we will know today, and therefore what will be the price of ITC. ITC hotels, of course, will get listed later, February 10th, but ITC will certainly be the focus today. So HDFC Bank on the banking side, so we have to see whether the bulls will hold or the bears will push it down significantly. There are analysts in the market, very famous analysts who come on TV regularly, who are expecting HDFC Bank to go to 1200. So I am unable to visualize a 1200 on HDFC Bank. As usual, I'll be cautiously bullish and I will buy on decline. Whatever you do today, I hope it is successful. Thank you for joining me.